A very good morning to one and all present here. Thank you, Dr. Manoj Kumar sir, for giving me an opportunity to share my ideas as an invited talk in this international conference. Thank you all the organizer. Thank you this college and thank you session chairman for giving a brief introduction of mine. Thank you sir for reading entire biodata. Thank you so much. So, friends, the topic for my today's invited talk is on the basis of a recently published paper by my group. So, we have published two papers on this particular area, and this area is or the name of my talk is host sensitized luminescence of lanthanide activators in tungstate and vanadate phosphors. So in last means since yesterday we have heard many ideas about the phosphors, about the magnetic materials, about the some theoretical aspects like a DFT and all. So here in addition to that, I am going to share some of the aspects related to this particular area where our group is working. So this is our PhD group. Total 10 students are working in our group, and we have almost 10 plus collaborators throughout India and abroad. So we are working mostly in the domain of optical materials. We have almost facilities for the synthesis as well as characterizations in the range of UV, visible, and NIR. So if anybody wish to connect with us for the characterizations, we are always willing to help you. And out of these all, the two students have published two papers recently in Scopus. So on the basis of this, I have just I am presenting my talk in today's session. So friends, as we know, we as whenever we are entering into any of the field, because so many presenters, so many participants are here, and everybody is just coming from the different domain. That is why initially I feel I have to introduce my domain, and that is why I'll be speaking somewhat about phosphor, and then I will be shifting towards the topic. So when we talk about the phosphor, phosphor is simply the material which can emit the light. In a simple layman language, we can say that which can emit the light, and then again accordingly we have the fluorescence and the phosphorescence. And if we talk about the different application of the phosphor materials, then we can have the large list of it. And out of which here I am going to share something like you may be knowing the solid state lighting. So specifically LEDs from all the colors as well as the white LED. So we are working in that domain also. Then another area is here you can see the list is yes, the fluorescent tubes as we are using frequently since long time, but now it is replaced with the LED tubes. So then again the area is like light emitting diode, then the cathode ray tubes, field emission displays, then again the security ink, thermometry. So in that way, in many areas we can work. Then the thermoluminescence dating, then the thermoluminescent dosimeters, display devices. So these are the few areas where we can apply the materials synthesized by our students, or whatever the material synthesized as a phosphor. And again broadly we can see the applications. So applications in a different or in a variety of range we can see here. So again when we talk about the application of phosphors, then here we can see from the different range as a luminescent material, then like from the light emitting devices to the NIR emitting phosphors which can be used in a thermometry. So like temperature sensing devices also we can apply the materials which we have synthesized. Then again in medical field we can see here the phosphors are used for the detection of some like fluorescent proteins, and again in the application of criminology, counterfeit detection, as we may be knowing about the forgery in terms of the currency. So in that area also we can use the fluorescent materials. Then again in angiography also we can use the material. So in angiography we use the materials. Then the bladder tumor detection. So these are the some of the areas where we can apply the fluorescent material. This is again another area where we can apply like a surface pressure mapping. Then fluorescent proteins, these are some of the references I have taken to introduce the topic. Then criminology, as I have mentioned, so just to detect the fingerprints, again some phosphors are used because here you can see in above picture we cannot see the fingerprints. But when with the help of some fluorescent material here we can see the fingerprints very much easily. So these are some of the applications of this area. Then fluorescent in arts. So since ancient era, as we know, we are having the art, and again, when I went to this Jaipur, this Bikaner fort, then also I have seen some arts are there, and again these this unique kind of the art is made up of some fluorescent colors or the fluorescent materials and the paintings and sculptures. Again, in terms of the painting, as we know, some paintings are very much costlier, or some paintings are like unique in world. So like, for just identifying this particular kind of the painting, so we are putting some materials inside this, and so that that can be only exposed with a particular light, and then only we can identify at what position that material is kept, and then on the basis of that we can come to know whether it is original or the duplicate. So as Picasso and all, like as we know how their paintings are costlier, so that can be identified with the help of this type of the materials, and some of the examples I have given from references here. Then as a laser material, even though we are working in the domain of this means for the for making some laser material, so many applications are here, and NDYAG you may be knowing, it's a commonly known laser. Then these are some of the examples I'm skipping now. So these all are the examples from the luminescence. Even though solar cell, again as we know, the perovskites kind of the solar cells, where we are trying to get some more efficiency with the help of this kind of the phosphors. So friends, for this particular talk, we have the motivation. So even though since yesterday I am discussing with many resource persons, so now as we know, we are facing scarcity for the rare earths, as we are dependent for rare earth on the China. And as we know, we do not have a very much cordial relationship with the China, and because of that, again the cost of the rare earth is increasing day by day. So what we thought, we are just thinking for the for like replacement of the rare earth, or for the minimization of the rare earth, and that is why we have selected some areas where our group is working, and out of which we have selected some vanadate based phosphors, then again some tungstate based phosphors, and the bismuth based phosphor. So while working with this kind of the phosphors, or from the literature review, we came to know these all kinds of the phosphors are the self-emitting phosphor. This phosphor has its own emission when it is excited by some like a UV radiations. And because of this, we feel, and we just thought, there must be energy transfer from vanadate or the tungstate or from bismuth to the rare earth. And in that way, we can get good efficiency. And that with these assumptions, we have started this particular study, where we are just trying to, and again, these are some of the references. So when I went to literature, we have seen very less data related to the host sensitizations. We found very few papers available on this particular topic, and that is why we have started this particular work, and we got some breakthrough also. So here, like just I would like to share some of the properties, and then I will be moving lanthanide activated double tungstates. So some of the properties are, it has a high absorption cross section, then again high nonlinear cubic susceptibilities for the stimulated Raman scattering processes, high density and radiation hardness, good optical quality, then high stopping power, ultra high radiation hardness. Again, we can have the visible emission. It is thermally as well as chemically stable. It is not susceptible to the neutron damage. And again, broad absorption and emission line widths. So these all are the properties exhibited by the tungstate as well as the vanadate groups. And again, because of these all properties, we are having these all peculiar applications. So applications in the field of active media of low threshold area lasers, then laser Raman shifters, quantum electronics, acousto-optics and high energy physics, then bioimaging, hydrocarbon industry and industrial safety, scintillators and radiation detection. So there are many more applications we can have from this particular domain. So, and with this work, we have recently published one of the article in radiation effects and defects in solid, and the title is Host Sensitization of Luminescence of Lanthanide Activators in NaBiWO4 by 2. So WO4 by 2, and here we have used the Bi as well as the tungstate in combination, and then we have done the study. So I would like to share the results which we got from this particular work. So simply our just target to synthesize this material. So we have synthesized this particular material by many methods, but out of all, finally we got the good results for the solid state reaction method. So we have compared initially with the combustion synthesis. We have initially compared with the Solgel method also. but finally we have reported with the solid state reaction method. Then we have conducted like some of the characterization. We have taken some characterization like XID, where we have matched the compound. Then again we have drawn the structure, how it is located, how atoms are located. Then the same also we have taken, and we were not thinking for the nanoparticles. So we got the price in like the size in like a microns, not in a nano size, and it was not our aim also. Then again we have done some elemental mapping and EDAX for the confirmation of the incorporation of an element whatever we have chosen. So in that way we have done some characterizations, and finally our intention is to focus on the photoluminescence study, and for that purpose we have taken the excitation spectra. So here I have shown the excitation spectra, and here for this 545 nanometer emission we have taken this excitation spectra on the basis of literature and with the help of trial and error also. So there are two ways to find out the excitation. So either on the basis of literature or by using the trial and error. So we got some like emission sharp lines can be observed at 353, 359, 370, 370 and 488 nanometer. And these all are assigned to FF transitions of the TB. This is basically for the terbium dope. And as we know, when we are doping the terbium, we are expecting the green color emission. And for that, we have done this. And on the shorter wavelength side, we broad absorptions are seen with maxima at 296 and 305. You can see this is what the excitation we have. Then if I move to the emission spectra of this, this is what really important for us. So we got for the this particular excitation of 488 nanometer, we have obtained the emission at 545 and 549 nanometer. So, and again it is because of the 5D4 to 7F5 transitions, as everybody knows the transitions. So again these lines are splitting and all like, and here finally, and again here we can see the color chromaticity. With the help of that we can identify it. The given phosphor can radiate or can give us the red, green color emission with the help of that. So, and finally we have concluded that sensitization is most probably due to the Bi3+ to Ln3+ energy transfer. So that study also we have carried out in this particular material. After that, the lifetime study also carried out, and we got the lifetime is 0.493 millisecond. So this is the lifetime plot. Then again, after that, we have doped the SM3+ also. So, and again, here our intention to generate the red phosphors. And for that also, we have seen the excitation spectra, and here you can see there is a host sensitization. So, minutely, if we observe this particular spectra, then we thought or we obtained that there is a host sensitizations. And that reflects in energy transfer, that reflects in terms of the intensity variation also. So again, the similar kind of the study we have done with the help of literature. And finally, we got the emission. Here we can see the emission for the 405 nanometer excitations. And we got this 564 nanometer, 600 nanometer and 647 nanometer. And out of which we are more interested in 647 nanometer because this can be used as a prominent red phosphors. So in that way, we got the good results. And again, here also we obtained a host sensitization. Another study, another most important study we have carried out when we have doped the Nd3+. And here we are looking for the NIR emitting phosphors, and that must be or that may be applicable for the laser applications. And that can replace some of the existing materials. And here also we have done this particular study with the excitation of 588 nanometer. And for this excitation of 588 nanometer, we have seen the emissions, and emissions is at 1070 nanometer. Here we can see. And at the same time, for every phosphor we got or we obtained a concentration quenching. And here also you can see the graph where we have obtained a concentration quenching also. So again here we can see or we can say that the sensitization most likely arises in the Bi3+ to Ln3+ energy transfer. Here Ln3+ is the Nd3+. So that also we have proved, and that publication proved or validates our results after thorough revisions. Another publication we got recently on the basis of similar kind of the study. Both publications came in last month. We were working for last 2 years and we got finally 2 publications on this particular issue, because there is a very less literature available, and every time every reviewer were asking for the literature support to us, and because of that we fight for many times, and finally we could able to achieve some results. This is another publication again in the same journal, Radiation Effects and Defects in Solids by Taylor and Francis. Here we have published the paper with ND3 plus emission in garnet structure of LiCa3Zn V3O12 phosphor. And here our focus is to study the vanadate based phosphor. And here just we are trying to transfer the energy, or trying to see the transfer of energy from vanadate to ND3 plus. With this intention, we have started the work, and here this particular initial result itself suggests that there is a host emission. This is what the emission for the host without doping ND3 plus ion. Again here the excitation spectra when we have doped the ND3 plus, and the emission spectra when we have doped the ND3 plus, and again with this also we have got the good result and the promising result, and again the wavelength obtained is 1068 nanometer. So these are again good and prominent result we have published. And now the third paper wherein we are trying to study, as in last yesterday also I have seen so many researchers are working in the domain of electronic structure. So we also thought to work way back like before 3-4 months, because nowadays there is a validation or the support is required from the theory, and in that way we are working with Dr. Manoj Kumar sir also for some theoretical aspects, and with some of the professors from JNU. So recently our paper accepted in, it was communicated earlier, but now it is accepted in Journal of Alloys and Compounds. So here also we have done some host sensitized studies, and that is validated by like you can see the electronic structure analysis of Bi2WO6 and observation of near infrared emissions of the ND3 plus doping. So these are some of the results. Earlier it was unpublished. That is why means I do not wanted to share a lot. So only I kept one slide over here. So this is what our study we have done, and from these all, just I would like to conclude. This is my last slide. So tungstate and vanadate based phosphors are considered a suitable optical material for emergent technologies, which implies the usage of laser display devices and solid state lighting. So depending upon the dopant, depending upon the rare earth, we can have the applications. Then in order to obtain vanadate based phosphor, different synthesis strategies have been developed. Among them, so mostly we have adopted the solid state reaction, as we know we are getting the phase purity and all, and that is why still we are sticking to that. Then and the Sol-Gel method and are the most investigated during the current studies. Then again there is definitely host sensitization through weak of the lanthanide emission in NaBiWO4/2. This sensitization most likely arises in Bi3 plus to Ln3 plus energy transfer. Even though in case of the vanadate system also, here we got the NIR emission. It is seen that the LiCa3Zn V3O12 ND3 plus is an efficient NIR emitting phosphor. And lastly, I can conclude the excitation can be achieved by the broadband in the 250 to 400 nanometer range resulting from the host, as well as narrow lines throughout the visible and NIR range arising from the FF transitions of the ND3 plus. And finally, this is a promising phosphor, or this can be used as a promising phosphor for NIR related applications, including laser, optical thermometry and all. So with this slide, let me let me acknowledge to the researcher. These are the two research students of mine. He's Varutkar, Gopal Varutkar. He's about 65. He's about 55 years, 56 years. Still he is working, and he has published 2 Scopus paper in last 2 years. And again, she is one of my research scholars. She is working in the area of bismuth. That paper, the work has been carried out by the Supriya, and the vanadate work has been carried out by the Gopal sir. So I just special thanks to the convener for giving me an opportunity, organizing team and the institutions, also my research scholars and collaborators for making our group very much stronger. And thank you, chairperson. Thank you all the participants for listening me patiently. Thank you.